Wow, that was the best episode of the season. Like, not even by slightly. I mean, by a clear mile, best episode of the season. It had everything, really. It had a lot of flavors in here, you know? You had your infiltration mission, interesting character moments. You had your backstory reveals that were tied into interesting character moments. It was a good episode. So our crew goes to this facility where they find out that Vought has a whole scheme, a whole plan going with giving adults superpowers with Compound V, and Homelander and Stormfront, they're banging in an alley after he smashes a dude's head. Which I gotta say, some of you out there, you are twisted people. I mean, shit. Love your style. We're all twisted, right? We're all kind of messed up. But after last week's episode, I started seeing theories that Stormfront was Homelander's mom. I'll say that again. After last week's episode, so after Stormfront and Homelander fuck, and people were like, what if she's his mom? Only after. Bless you, twisted humans, and your messed up theories. Part of what I liked about this episode is you have your infiltration mission. They go into this facility where Lamplighter is working basically as an orderly slash incinerator, which is funny. Shawn Ashmore, who was Iceman in the X-Men movies, his nemesis was Pyro, and now in The Boys, he essentially is Pyro. Is him being in this episode, is that going to tie into the past? And you know, he burned those kids, and that lady was like bird watching. Yeah, that was very jumbled. I love it when I can be that jumbled. My thoughts can be that sparse and so poorly explained. And if you've seen season 1, you're like, I know what he's saying though. But okay, there's this soup in this facility that pops people like water balloons. Because the Force, of course, didn't mean for that to rhyme. That was cheesy. Unintentionally so. Point is, Sith never do that in Star Wars, and I just don't know why. But then Super Magneto Sith Soup breaks down all the doors and releases all the other super people. They're making super people. And so it's people with like, they vomit acid, or, you know, they have the Force, they can make things float, they have a huge dick. I just thought he had a huge dick. And then you see the monitor, and it kind of looks like the end of Cabin in the Woods, which kind of cracked me up. And you see this tentacle dragging people around. I'm like, tentacle, thought nothing of it. Then when the tentacle grabbed Mother's Milk by the neck, I had this philosophical thought in which I was like, is that the dick? You gotta love the fact that this show's like, we're gonna have a dick that strangles people. Because we're the boys. But there's some solid character tension in here. You see some flashback with Frenchie, Lamplighter, because he was their informant. Like, I knew that he killed kids, and that just caused the band to break up. But I didn't know that he was, like, their guy on the inside, and that shows why Butcher doesn't like Starlight at all. He's like, I've been here working with... No. But he and Starlight have some bonding moments in here, which seem kind of forced. Doesn't matter, though, because Huey got hurt, and we all band together for Huey. Huey got impaled when that dude just blasted the van, and they were like, we need to go to the hospital. Probably not smart though, since they're all like really wanted people. I don't know how the cops aren't there. The feds, I don't know why they're not there right now. You go to a vet like any good criminal. So as much as season 1 built you to like hate this guy, in the end you're like, oh, you're another tragedy of Vought. I'm not saying he's a rose, he's not a peach by any means, but you just get the feeling Vought is just a super evil thing that leaves devastation and fucked up people in its wake. You're either a complete and total shitbag or you're damaged. Like, there's no in between. I mean, for a while we've kind of felt like Queen Maeve is a good person, but she's just in too deep. She's trying to dig her way out now because someone had a GoPro on that flight. I love the fact that that clearly businessman dad was like, I'm gonna have a GoPro, because you never know when YouTube is gonna call me. Why was he using a GoPro though? Like, was he gonna do extreme sports on his vacation? Like, why didn't he use his phone? Then again, to be fair, he seems like the kind of guy who has a BlackBerry from 2008. So hey, maybe there's that. I got on a tangent there. What was my thought? Oh yeah, good people, shitty situations. But yeah, you just feel like Maeve is that person, you know? She was probably like brought in and all the glitz and glamour. It's like, she's the end game of Starlight. We got that in season 1. Starlight was like, I'm gonna go this way. So even with Lamplighter, this person who burned kids, you're like, oh, clearly he's a scumbag. And yeah, he went there to kill the lady that Butcher and all them were working with. Just so you get the feeling he's torched people before. It's his MO, it's his thing. In a show that's really built around PR, I don't know how people are like, dude has a torch and burns things. Clearly a hero. That's not a villain power at all. What did they think he did? Did they think they were like, Lamplighter, we need to get through that wooden door. Do you mind? Homelander's here. Clearly, he can just breathe on it and it'll cave in. But no, we need you. Like, what did they think they did with that huge oversized lamp thing? But the point is, I bought it when he was sitting there and this lady is like, I'm gonna kill him. You get the fact he's like, I do want you to. And Frenchie, the voice of logic and reason, is like, you'll just end his suffering. It is true. It's like there's nothing you can do to this guy that he hasn't already done to himself. This guy has beaten himself up beyond repair for that thing, because he didn't mean to kill kids, but he did. And so, in an angle, a twist, a turn, an event that I didn't see coming, Lamplighter's part of the crew now. Gotta say, in a world where I just love surprises, that was a surprise. And then Stormfront revealed to Homelander after he was just raging out, because he's the jealous boyfriend type. She's like, hey, by the way, I'm super old and Nazis gave me my thing. Well, Vought did, but working with Nazis apparently, which I had heard was the case with Stormfront in the graphic novel. And in the end, Super Magneto Sith Soup. I don't know why I keep saying Magnetos, because, you know, rip the metal doors down. But the Force can do that too, so Sith. Point is, gets away. Retire on a beach? Maybe. Go into Vought and burn that shit down? Possibly. We shall see. Which is interesting because the character's name is actually Cindy, and last we saw of Cindy gets fried, gets shocked by Stormfront. Then the next time we see Cindy, hitchhiking on the road. But I feel like there is a chunk of dialogue, there's a situation missing, purposely so. Did they have the Walter White, Hector Salamanca speech, you know, where it's like, you don't like me, but I'm willing to bet there's someone you hate more. And they're gonna unleash Sind on the Stormfront? Don't know, but I do think that character is a piece of the plan. But in the end, great episode. Maybe it's because I have a soft spot for those episodes of television that give you the flashback reveals, which is why my favorite episode of season 1 of Heroes was the episode called Company Man. I believe it was episode 17 of season 1. So good. But yeah, it all worked together for me to be like, best episode of the season so far. Hey, maybe season 2 was one of those slow start, but great payoff kind of seasons. But all right, The Boys season 2, episode 6. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below. Let me know. Only 2 episodes left. Time does fly. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.